Hi beautiful ladies, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk to you about the type of people that you should hang around when you are on your level up journey. I always say level up journey because I truly believe that it's a journey that never ends. You should constantly be striving to be a better version of yourself year after year. I always say to myself, when I look back on my life a year from now, I want to see some level of growth, whether it's a glow up in my physical appearance, whether it's me doing better in my career, whether it's a stronger relationship. I want to look back and see some level of growth because then that tells me that I'm alive and thriving and I'm not just living life day to day. The number one thing that can steal your joy in life is when you are stagnant. So if you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or depressed or anxious, or you're just not feeling motivated in life, you're not feeling inspired, 9 times out of 10, that's because you are stagnant in some aspect of your life. And you should see that as an invitation to level up, and not just level up one time so that you can feel better in this moment, but level up continually so that you're a better version of yourself. And yes, you do need to be content where you're at, be happy with your progress, be happy with what you have in your life, and just enjoy it and bask in it. But love yourself enough to know that just like a tree, just like a plant, while you're beautiful and thriving in this moment, in order for you to continue to thrive, you need to be growing. And so I've given many tips on how to achieve this, with emphasis on your physical appearance. But I also believe that it's important to get around certain types of people if you want to level up. I talk about the type of people that you should avoid, as they can be a deterrent to your growth and your development. But there are lots of people out there who are positive and who are good influences to have in your life. And these are the type of people that you want to have around, whether it's as an ally, as a mentor, as a friend, as a romantic partner. You want to be around these type of people so that you can continue to grow and become a better version of yourself. So the first person is, you want to be around people who establish and respect boundaries. These people won't infringe on your boundaries because they understand the importance of boundaries and how crucial they are to maintaining healthy relationships. So they enforce boundaries for themselves in that they tell people, what they will and what they won't accept. They kind of guide people on how to engage and connect with them. Because they understand the importance of boundaries for themselves, they're also more likely to identify and respect yours. And so if you say, I need 24-hour notice in order to plan an outing, a social outing, like going out for lunch, they're less likely to get up in arms and say, oh, well, what's the big deal? Like, you should lighten up. They're more likely to respect your boundaries because they understand that your time is precious and valuable to you. They sort of just get that once you say something, your word is bond, and they respect that. And to me, someone who respects boundaries for themselves and others, they respect you as an individual because they respect themselves. And so they understand that what they put out is what they will also receive. You also want to get around women who use social climbing strategies to their advantage. So whether that's pretty privilege, emotional intelligence, networking, dressing well, fitness, because these type of women understand your intentions. They understand the importance of using social climbing strategies to get what you want in life, to have better outcomes in life. They understand that life is not handed to you, that you need to use strategy. And so they also understand the importance of using every tool that you have at your disposal to influence a better outcome in life. And so when they see you doing this, they will most likely understand your intentions and will be less likely to be catty and competitive with you. They're less likely to say, oh, she thinks she's all that just because you're a slim girl, or she thinks she's all that because she doesn't leave the house without doing her hair and her makeup and putting on clothing. She's also a good ally because she understands the game and she understands that there is room for all pretty girls to grow, that we all have our own lane, we all have our own dreams and desires and things that we're working towards. And so she understands that it's better to have an ally than to have a competitor. And this isn't true for every girl who uses certain social climbing strategies. So you need to use your discernment and just be cautious when you interact with each woman that uses different social strategies. Some girls, they use certain strategies to their advantage, but they are still competitive. They still believe that like other women should not have the right to social climb and level up. Those are the type of girls that you stay away from. But the girl that kind of just like stays in her own lane, she doesn't feel threatened by other people's growth, she's not nosy or passive aggressive, that's a sign that she's more likely to be an ally and that she understands the overall nuances of leveling up in social climbing. You also want to get around people who have a healthy self-esteem. This goes for both men and women because these people aren't insecure and they won't take their shortcomings out on you. So for men, they're not going to feel attacked by your beauty. They're not going to feel the need to humble you or feel the need to kind of play games with you just so you can say, "Oh, you know, I got the trophy. I got access to the pretty girl. Like, look at me." And then kind of like throw you away. If he realizes that you're out of his league, he's more likely to respect that. Either he'll just not pursue you at all, or he'll be forthcoming at the beginning and be like, "Look, I reckon," he may not say it in so many words, but his language will pretty much point to him saying like, "You're out of my league, let's just not waste each other's time." And for women, they a woman who has healthy self-esteem regardless of how she looks, there are girls who, you know, they don't really care too much about their physical appearance and they're comfortable in that and they're not threatened by the quote unquote pretty girl. They're less likely to be catty towards you. They're less likely to be passive aggressive or mean. They'll kind of just have a regular, just unbiased relationship with you and treat you like how they would treat any other human being that they interact with. These are the type of people that you want to be around. Not only will it spare you from their personal attacks, but it'll also help to protect your mental health because you're not having to play these mental Olympics of having to navigate the mind games that they play, the passive aggressiveness, and just the politics that you have to endure from being around these type of people. You also want to get around people who have a glass half full mentality. So they see every challenge as an opportunity rather than seeing it as a setback. So pretty much you want to stay away from the Debbie Downers, okay? The people who see everything as a problem. As soon as like a little minor inconvenience happens, it ruins their entire year. You know, they're down in the dumps all the time. They're always complaining instead of working towards a solution. Stay away from those people because misery needs company. They're looking for someone to be miserable with them and they will try to trauma bond with you to sort of get that cushioning that they need, but then also try to release their negative energy onto someone. Like they need an outlet to release their negative energy. Get somebody else to do it. Do not be on the receiving end. Be around people who they always have a strategy for overcoming challenges. They see every challenge as an opportunity to either learn a lesson, to get stronger, or it's an opportunity for them to overcome it and look like a better, stronger individual. These type of mentalities will come in handy when you yourself actually go through some situations that are unfortunate and you need your mental strength to get through it. When you adopt this type of mentality and you're around people who have the same mentality, you're more likely to overcome challenges in life because you're mentally strong and you have what it takes to strategize, to reach out to mentors and resources, etc., to get through these issues. And you're able to just get through any issues a lot faster instead of sitting there and festering and mulling over problems and, you know, nothing gets achieved, nothing is done. You also want to stay around people who don't gossip. Gossiping is a poor man's sport, okay, because it's easily accessible, anyone can do it, and it's easy to do. There's so many things that you can, especially celebrity gossip. It's just so weird to me when people, and I'm not talking about like major headlines like the Diddy issue either. I'm talking about like minor things that you have to like spend hours on TikTok or on like Lipstick Alley to kind of find the tea about like a local Instagram influencer. If you are that heavily invested in someone else's life, that's a problem. That means that there's not enough happening in your life and you need to refocus your priorities. Also, when you hang around people who are willing to gossip with you, just know that they'll also gossip about you, okay? The person that runs and tells you other people's business are going to run and tell other people your business, okay? Your information is not safe with them, especially the people that will be like, oh, don't worry, you can always confide in me. Don't worry, you can trust me. You can't trust them, and they know it, and they're trying to use that as a ruse to trick you into confiding in them. And then when the opportunity presents itself, they will open their mouth and blab. Stay away from those type of people. Get around people who talk about strategy, how to invest in stocks, what type of stocks to invest in, how to know when it's time to invest in certain stocks, how to purchase real estate, how to level up your looks, what are the hottest restaurants in the city? Like, get around people who are talking about things things that will actually benefit you. And you'll find that without even really trying, your life will improve because you're subconsciously exposed to this type of information, and then you're subconsciously aligning with this information and applying it to your life. And similar to the people who have a glass half full mentality, you want to get around the go-getter. Their drive is infectious and will motivate you to push towards your goal. You see this more evidently like when you're in a corporate setting. So maybe you're on a team where the people on your team, like, they complain about not being able to get job opportunities, and they're kind of just stuck in the same position for like years on end. Being in that setting is kind of depressing, and if you're not careful, you can start to feel the same way that they do and adopt those same mentalities, compared to like when you're on a team where there's constant movement, there's constant growth. Constant movement is not always a sign that the team itself is toxic. It could also just be a sign that there's room for a lot of growth, that the environment is fertile, it allows for upward mobility. People like that, they're always networking, they're always talking about social strategies, and they're always engaging with other people who have those same conversations because they understand that they benefit from having those conversations. Okay, so you need to get away from the Debbie Downer loser friends who complain all the time. If you are in corporate and you're in the same position and you know that you deserve better, you know that you should be in a higher level position, but you're scared to do it because you're afraid of what your work friends are going to say. First of all, those are not your friends, okay? Those are your coworkers. So let go of the belief that they're your friends and start going to some networking events, start joining some committees, get a work mentor, start setting up coffee chats so that you can start to strategize and apply these strategies to your career growth and development. And lastly, you want to get around the private person, okay? The private person, they're very careful as to who they allow into their inner space because they're private and because they guard their lives. They understand that being around certain people can either make or break their life, and so they're very careful. And if you have the pleasure and the honor of being in someone's life who is extremely private, that is a good sign that you are at the right place in life, and you should continue to lean into that. Private people will not trauma dump on you and make their problems your problem because they would much rather find a solution to deal with their issues than to whine and complain about it. And they will also encourage you to appreciate being private as well, because they will also not appreciate being on the receiving end of your trauma dumping. So that will force you to find better ways of handling your situation. Sometimes, yes, you do need to confide in friends, but 9 times out of 10, confiding in friends is just a band-aid solution or like an easy way out rather than actually addressing the issue and going to where you know you'll get help. But being private also allows this level of mystery and polarity, where you're not too familiar to the person. Because when you become too familiar, you become predictable and you become common in that person's eyes. And so there's less of an appeal to have you around. I know it does not sound great, but I truly believe that you should not disclose everything to everyone, including your partner. Some things are just better left between you and God and a professional. Okay, let me know what you think about this video. Who are the types of people that you get around and what has been the outcome in being around these people? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.